So do we go high end so that we can avoid problems and just suck it up, put good quality appliances in there so that we don't have to hear from tenants, we don't have breakdowns, or do we go plain Jane?
I would say that depends on the rental property you have. Of course, if you have a high-end rental property, you're not going to put a white coil top stove in there. But if you have just your run-of-the-mill, as plain Jane as you can get away with, I suggest it.
Okay, so plain Jane, that's your answer. So why? And you've always told me that too. So why plain Jane? Like in my head, I would sometimes think, better quality, less problems, less phone calls, less fixing. You say no. Okay, so tell me why.
So I say more bells and whistles is more things to go wrong. I liken things to cars. If you have a car with roll-up windows, pretty easy to fix. If you got a car with power windows and they break down, you're going to a mechanic and spending money. Good example for that is coil top stoves. Sorry to cut you off there, but glass top stoves, the burner for a glass top stove average at about $200 a piece, plus a little bit more difficult to put in. A coil top, you can buy a good used burner for $10.
Yeah. A good used burner for $10. Yeah. Crazy. Big difference. So yeah. Specific brands that are safer bets for rentals that you know of, or is it just universal?
A lot of things have gone downhill since, they're outsourcing a lot of things, but I still like to stick with the big three. That's Frigidaire, General Electric, and Whirlpool. But underneath those brand names are a ton of other names that may be a little bit obscure, like Amana or something like that, but they're all made by Whirlpool. Whirlpool owns a lot of companies. They own Maytag, a whole bunch of different companies that Whirlpool owns. And you can fit into getting that product, even though you have a different brand name on it.
Okay. So, and I know that you've recommended Amana products for us once in a while. And I don't know what you put in our last place. But yeah, I know it was not one of those big three names. It was a different name. And if it was probably not you suggesting it, I probably would have double guessed it, because I'm like, well, what's Amana? Like, is that, secondary name, that sort of thing. So that makes sense then. They're all under certain names, but you would know that kind of stuff. So that's awesome. I know that you said that there's some features that seem awesome to us and we think, oh, this is great because this is a selling feature to our tenants. And it's, it's going to get us a little bit more rent, or rent our places faster, whatever. It's a little more luxury. There's some features that we feel as investors might help us, but you're saying, touch on that for us.
A couple things that I really suggest avoiding is over the range microwaves, OTRs. Tenants seem to be really, really hard on them, and they're really expensive to replace and to fix, because you got to get a carpenter in, you got to take it down. Most places won't do in-home service on it. So I suggest put in a really nice stainless steel hood fan, but stay away from the microwave. People can wreck them very easily. Ice and water in the door of a fridge is beautiful, but again, it's very expensive to fix. If it starts breaking down, it can be very costly. An ice maker alone is about $200. The water valve that goes with it on most is ranging from $80 to $200. The water filters, if your tenants are not changing that water filter on a regular basis, the carbon inside it breaks down. Once that carbon starts breaking down, it starts flowing through the lines of the fridge and can plug up all kinds of arteries in it. Once those arteries are plugged, you're in big trouble, because it's really hard to try to find where those little fragments of carbon have plugged that make the ice maker stop working. And it's really hard to down, like, if they have it already, it's hard to take it away if you're going to replace the fridge.
Right. It is. Yeah. Because people will complain that that's not how it was when they rented it or whatever. Yeah. But if we have the option when we're, doing a burr maybe or something and putting in new appliances, then you're saying don't go with the water and ice option, and it'll save us a lot of headache.
If you can get away with not doing it, for sure. I know in some high-end rentals, you just have to suck it up, but if you can get away without it, don't go with it.